Welcome to Comfort Havoc number 2. So, because of someone I follow on Instagram, I have to make this video. Alright. First and foremost, I have made this video maybe 100,000 times because I have lived this life for 46 years. So it's never going to be an old topic for me. It's never going to go away. And, like it or not, you're going to get 99.9. We don't need those glasses for this talking. So, as you guys know, it's effectively February the 2nd. It is the beginning of Black History Month, and for those old enough to remember way back in the 70s and 80s, it would also be Native American History Week. They've since changed all that stuff. The first time I had learned about Native American history was in February with Miss Conrad, who pointed out the fact that I was part Native American, which I did not know until the 5th grade. All the other times, I just thought I was black. Now, alright. So, let's begin with my heritage. I'm Cherokee, I am black, and I'm white. Why is that important? Because Mia Yim posted some stuff today, or yesterday, on Twitter, which proves that, one, I'm not alone, and two, that they don't just do it to men. They do it to women, too. Okay, so her post was, Happy Black History Month or some shit like that. I didn't read it. I just read the news article about her clapping back on the young man or the young woman or the young racist person who said that she was not really Korean or black. And as I gave kudos to her in one of my videos earlier today, which is what leads to this video now, because she said that she had to go through this for more than most of her life. And since I'm older than her, I'm right there with you, Mia Yim. So as a child, at my illustrious high school, it was never really a big problem because by then I'm used to being mixed. But in middle school and grade school was an issue because kids are cruel, and lots of kids would always say, "You're not really black," or their exact words were, "You're not a real nigger, you're a half nigger." They saw my mother, and my mom's half white, half black, and half Native American, which is why I am a triple factor, because my father's just half black and half Native American. He just looks black when he was breathing. Now, the one thing that both my families had in common on my mom's side and my dad's side is that they never really acknowledged their Cherokee heritage until it was brought up to the forefront by me in the 5th grade, because I didn't know. And then Miss Conrad knew. And it's like, she's not even in my family. How the fuck does she know more about my family than I do? But here's the thing. When you are biracial or multicultural, you will deal with identity crises all the time. There's never going to be a way around it. If not from within yourself, then with the people around you who will not hesitate for a New York second to point out you're different from everyone else. Let's see. I got 5 fingers on each hand. I got 5 toes on each foot. I got the same kneecaps. I have a penis. I have a chest. I'm just like every other man. I might not be as, cut up. I'm fair, but I'm not cut up. I can get there if I work hard. But I didn't think I was different. I didn't know I was different. I just thought I was a normal human being. And then I found out that I wasn't. So, Miss Yim clapped back on a guy or a girl who said that she was neither black or Korean. And she posted a picture of her father who was black. And I guess her mom must be Korean. So therefore, she didn't post a picture of her mom, but she did post a picture of her dad. And, she went through some shit there. But she clapped back and she told him that she's proud of both her black and Korean heritages. Y'all know me. I'm proud of all 3 of my heritages until somebody from my heritage group does something stupid. If someone black does something stupid, I get mad and I post about it right here. If someone Asian does something stupid, because Native Americans are Asian, and y'all remember Miss Rainbird, I post that shit up here. I don't discriminate. If someone white does something stupid, I post that shit here. The good news about me is that I can never pass for a white person. So I don't really have to deny that. I don't have to acknowledge that. But at the same time, when you look at me, you see somebody who's black. Alright? And if you don't see someone black, you see someone who is mixed. Which is cool either way. I acknowledge all of my heritage. But a lot of us mixed people tend to go through the identity crisis as a child of not knowing what group we fit in. I made a video not too long ago because one of the things that she clapped back about was, are you, do you relate more to your Korean side or do you relate more to your black side? Now I have been unequivocally honest about this because of a lot of rejection, mostly from black people. I related more to my Cherokee side, but there was a reason for that. My dad's grandmother, who's full-blooded Cherokee, God rest Ada's soul, spent probably more time with the kids that closely resembled Native Americans than the kids that looked black. Now, was she prejudiced or racist? I'm not in her skull, I don't know. But I did spend a rough enough time with her in the summers that I got to spend time with her. She passed when I was 12. When my mother's father passed when I was 6. And when my mother's brother, Uncle Doc, passed when I was 8. But my grandmother on my mom's side is still alive. I probably should visit her more. And I'm sorry about that, Grandma, if you're watching. Where my grandmothers on my father's side passed a long time ago. And they were older than my grandmother on my mom's side. Alright? Now my grandma on my mom's side is about catching up with my grandma on my father's side. Because my grandma on my father's side, I think she was almost 100 years old. My great-grandmother didn't make it that far. I think she made it to like maybe 70. I'm not sure. Because I was 12. And that's a long damn time ago. But, you know, the point being, I spent a lot of time with her when I was reluctantly enough to be in Smithfield during the summertime. Now, Grandma would tell me things. No, not my grandma, but my great-grandmother. I'm just not going through all that great crap, alright? So Grandma Ada would tell me things about how her and her brother John couldn't go to blacks or white schools, and they had to go to Native American school and all kinds of other shit. They had to run through the woods in the moccasins, and there was no bus for them, okay? What she didn't tell me was that Native Americans didn't get their rights until 1924. So you have to go Google that. I might have said the wrong date. But they didn't have the rights. And a lot of them were marked as mulatto. So when I went to go searching for her, she was marked as mulatto instead of Cherokee. But she was definitely Cherokee. So it's a long process, and I gotta go get a DNA test and all this other shit so I can get discounts at school or whatever. Anyway, moving on. So then, you know, she would tell us stories, and she would say that if our ancestors would have listened to the women and drilled holes in the boats would have sank. Gunpowder would have been at a disadvantage to the Europeans who came over, and America would have been a different place. But as you know, those who have the most powerful weapons generally write history. So that's how that happened. I don't think my great-grandmother was racist. I just don't think that she really liked dark people. And my grandfather on my father's side, his dad was exceptionally dark. So obviously, my dad's mom, my grandma Bay, blacker the berry, sweeter the juice. I don't know. But my father's father was black, and my father's mother was Native American. Alright? So, therefore, that explains that side of my family. Now, my mother's side is a little bit more complex because her dad was mixed. He was half black, half white, but he looked like a white man. And if you see my mother, she looks like a white woman. I lost her twice in a crowd. Once in Scottsville and once in a store at CVS trying to get her medicine. She stood between an Asian woman and a tall white dude. I looked right at her and went right by her. So, yeah. I'm sure you normal looking people don't have that problem. Especially if your parents have the same skin tone as you. My mom does not have the same skin tone as me. I'm going to do something against her permission. and I don't give a damn. No. This is a one-time deal. If I can get the stupid ass phone to work in my gallery. I'm not really good at technology, so bear with me. Come on, damn it. Okay. I hate technology. Just want y'all to know that. I really hate technology. Like, wholeheartedly, I have it because it's a necessary evil. But I more or less can live without it. You know, it's not gonna kill me to have it. It's not gonna kill me to not have it. Cause the whole time I was in the army, they made me use other soldiers' cell phones to call home, and I was like, I don't want to call home. There's no one there I want to talk to. And they were like, well, you need to call home anyway. So there. Did you get a good look? There you go. So there's both of them together. My late Aunt Mer. So we're not gonna ever do that again. But there's your proof of my parents being mixed and me being mixed. Let's see. I think I got one on my mom's mom. I'm pretty sure I do. And so this is only gonna be a one-shot deal also. I have no idea where it is, but I know I have it. There it is. Let's see. One with the glasses. Yeah, the only one that's clear. I'm actually in the same shirt. So yeah. Hair's white as hell, isn't it? But yeah. I should probably go visit her more. So being of multiculturalness, as I've said before, I, one, don't have the right to be a racist. Two, you know, we as people, we seem to not get the concept of why racism hasn't really been addressed. And the reason for that is really simple. We're a bunch of fucking cowards. It's just that simple. We, the people, are a bunch of fucking cowards. Because if you think about it, racism exists because of the simple fact that there's the one thing on earth that you can't change. So you can have a sex change operation. You can't have a race change operation. You know how many people would line up to be white? Lots of us. Not me, because if I could change my race, I'd just go straight full-blooded Native American. But I also know that that's not a possibility. So when I make characters like on Mass Effect, I make them Native American. No, even though Shepard's a white last name. Well, newsflash for you. So is Wallace, so is Ford. And those were my grandmother's names on my father's side. Ada Wallace Ford. Her first last name was Wallace, and then her married name was Ford. And then my grandmother, Clara Bay Ford, became Clara Bay Williams. There you go. Now, if you want to know about last names, 9 times out of 10, if you were of color, especially if you are black, and in America, and you're a descendant of a slave, well, they took their slave owners' names. They didn't really get an option. They weren't allowed to read. They couldn't really speak proper English. And with Miss Yim's clapback, it made me think about all the times in my 46 years of life that I had to put up with this shit. Because it clearly was somebody who was either half black or white, or it was somebody who was all black or all white that clapped on her about not being Korean or not being black. Or, as her quote said, I've dealt with this all the time, with somebody saying, you're not really black, you're not really Korean, you're like in the middle. Okay, where did they get a load of me? The thing about that is, alright, when it comes down to racial identity, your racial identity is only important to everyone but you. Alright? It's sometimes important to you, but it's not like the end of the world. Because a lot of people are mixed. We just kind of travel down the middle. We really do. We kind of travel down the middle. Let me give y'all an example. Everybody loves The Rock. I love The Rock. I wish The Rock would give me a job. He's never going to see this video, but anyway. So Rock's part black and part Samoan. And most of his characters he play are generally Samoan. Alright? Except for the Scorpion King. And except for like certain movies where they don't really give details of who he is, but in Hobbs and Shaw, you knew he was Samoan. You didn't get to see anybody but his mom, and everybody in the whole cast was basically Samoan. I am not knocking The Rock for that. And a lot of black people have knocked The Rock for never playing a black role. Now, last year, a show that I can't see anymore because somehow or another Comcast doesn't have the channel. Xfinity doesn't have the channel. I can't watch The Real. And I love the ladies on The Real. Tamara, Jeannie, Munchkin, and Lonnie, and whoever the hell they're having as a guest next week. But you know, they had came down on The Rock, and I didn't really like that. But it's called The Real. And I didn't really like it because they came down on The Rock really, really hard about how he never really played a back role. And then, this is when they came down on him. He was trying to film John Henry, where he would be playing a black role. And the girls from The Real, as much as I love them, they pissed me off with that. He's not black enough. That's right. Y'all said it. I watched it live. Y'all said it. He's not black enough. And they were basically talking about his skin tone. Now, I was kind of mad because Tamara didn't say anything. She being mixed people ought to know what other mixed people go through because you don't go through it alone. If you're mixed, you've gone through this shit. And you're going to have to save it for the next video. Thanks for watching.